Hey guys, so you've been wondering where I've been the last 2 months. Been gone anywhere, I'm still here, but I have been learning Vietnamese, how to read Vietnamese in the last 2 months using Duolingo. So Duolingo's changed in a couple years. Now it's kind of different than what it used to be from what I remember, in that it's not unlimited anymore. You get a certain number of tries each for a certain number of hours, and then once you use all those tries and you get something wrong, you can't do any more lessons unless you have Duolingo Premium, which I got a free trial of twice, which allowed me to finish the whole entire Vietnamese lessons. There are 5 levels for each lesson. I was able to do all 5, and I tested out a lot of things. That's how I was able to do it so quickly, and because of Premium with unlimited tries and whatever, and it allows you to test with Premium. This isn't sponsored, by the way. It's just I think it's very worth it. Anyways, so I am learning how to read Vietnamese because my grandfather made a history book of our family, gave it to everyone, and I want to read it. He wrote an English portion for the grandchildren, but I want to read all of it, so the Vietnamese portion. So it's always been a goal of mine to learn how to read Vietnamese, and because I grew up in a small town where there wasn't a large Vietnamese population, I never went to Viet school. My parents, they were too focused on teaching me other things, of course, actual things you learn in school, to learn how to read English to get by in an English-speaking world, predominantly English-speaking world, so they didn't teach me how to read Vietnamese. But I know how to speak it, so this is the Minimalist guide to how to read Vietnamese. It's not really about speaking, because it is going to be a lot easier if you already know how to speak it, so there's familiarity with the words. A lot of words I know how to read because I already knew how to say it. For example, if I know what the word for banana, and I see a picture of banana, of course I'm going to be able to match the word, the verbal to the written, and it's a lot easier. So I don't know if this will be helpful for you if you're a complete beginner to Vietnamese. This is for people who a supplement. What you're seeing on the screen is a supplement to your Duolingo lessons. And I don't know if you can learn a completely new language on Duolingo. I have never tried that, but we'll see, since I have a lot of free time, if I'll learn a new language. But what I did was I made this spreadsheet of numbers, because that's what I have. But whatever spreadsheet you can make using whatever software. But I made a spreadsheet. So basically what's complicated about Vietnamese is all the vowel combinations there are. So in Vietnamese, it's a tonal language like Mandarin and like Chinese. But there are, these aren't the tones, but there's no tone. There's Yao, wing, that tone. So the numbers don't correspond. The numbers don't correspond to the tone number. I'll explain what the numbers on the screen mean in a sec. But this is Yao Hoi, Yao Nhã, Yao Sac, and Yao Nang. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tones along with the no tone, the bass. So there are 5 tones. So that's 1 more than Chinese. Actually, 2 more, because Chinese or Mandarin has a no tone, the bass too. And I'm not using the correct linguistic terms or whatever, but I'm just describing it how I would describe it. So they have 5 tones. But in addition to the 5 tones, there's also the A's. There's also 3 types of A's. So it's and there's 2 E's. The E's are pretty easy. The A's are harder, because there's a and an A. And then there's I. There's only 1 I, which is good. And then there's 3 O's. There's ah, o, So this is the short O in English, and the long O. And this is a sound. And there's 2 U's, and the U's are ooh, ooh. It's very subtle. So, yeah. This makes it very complicated in addition to the 5 tones. And the thing about the 5 tones is that the tones in Chinese, I think, are very different. The 4 tones, there's a rising tone in Chinese, a flat tone, and a falling tone, and the V tone. I don't know what it's called, where you lower and then you rise, that tone in Chinese. Whereas this one, for example, there's a lower one, and then this one is also lower, but it's different. So it's very confusing. And like this one is part rising. Well, that one's rising, and then like these two are like part rising, partially rise. So it's confusing. But we'll get into that in this video as we go through. But anyway, so I made this spreadsheet so that I could differentiate between the vowel sounds, because that's what was really confusing, and learn how to write. And we'll get to that. But like basically, not basically, but a lot of, like in English, a lot of things are just arbitrary, in that if a word has that spelling, even though like it sounded like, but the rules are just set like, oh, it's just spelled that way. So for example, like one word will have this tone versus that tone, even though they sound exactly alike. It's just arbitrary. Like this word for B, and there's meaning like grandpa, like they sound alike, but it's just arbitrary. Like, oh, this one just has the roof and this one doesn't, and that's, you just gotta remember that this one means B and that one means grandpa. But okay, and then so these are all the words I've learned. And once I organize it by the vowel and the tone, what I'm doing right now is, and we're recording this video in parts, is I'm highlighting, color coding by the different vowel and consonant combinations in order to get the differences. And we'll go into that, what it means, in a second. We'll start with the A's. I'm done with the A's, so I wanted to record that part and get it over with. But let me explain the numbers on the screen. So these numbers, like I said before, don't represent like the number of tone or like the second tone, or it just corresponds, for my memory when I was typing, like the 1. If you turn on, this is Apple keyboard, Apple Vietnamese keyboard. I don't know if it's the same for Windows or every system, but if you turn on the Vietnamese keyboard like I do right here, I don't know if this part is recorded, but the Vietnamese flag will turn on. And the shortcut is the command key and spacebar to switch between keyboard languages. But so if I type a 1, that will give me that A. If I type a 2, it'll give me that type of A. So then you combine these vowels with the, let me show you. So for example, if I want to write the word for ang or eat, I'm going to write 1 and then the N. But let's say I want to write that, but I also want to add a tone, then I'll put 8 for that tone and that. So that's what the numbers correspond to. Yeah, if I wanted to write a number A with this tone, then I put A, then write 6. That's very basic explanation, but anyways, I'm getting to the end of this intro. I didn't realize this intro would be so long, and that this video would actually be multi-series part, because it's a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. But anyways, yeah, so I want to make this guide for everyone, make these videos, because when I was trying to learn how to learn Vietnamese, it was very hard. There wasn't a lot out there. Like, there's a lot out there about, like, here's how you say this word in Vietnamese. Here's like, that's easy. Like, but nowhere is there like actual explanation of the differences between the vowels, the different vowels, the different tones. Obviously, I mean, there's difference between like tone. Like, that's out there, but I wanted more detail. For example, why is that like that? And what really got me was like the difference between the A's, for example. Like, they just give you examples, like they pronounce the words, but they don't give you like an explanation of why, oh, that word is spelled that way and pronounced that way when it has this symbol on top of it, and like that. So I want this guide to be more detailed and actually teach you how to read Vietnamese and write Vietnamese. And I'm not an expert, this is like self-taught, so a lot of things I might get wrong and might not be correct, or what you would if you actually went to Viet school and you know this stuff. Like, please feel to chime in on the comments explaining why things are the way they are. But a lot of things, like you'll see when I get to the first part of this video, I still don't understand the differences, the subtle differences between the two words just because they sound so much to me linguistically. They just sound alike, and I can't distinguish between the two, even though there may be a difference, but I just have lost that ability to differentiate between the two. But okay, wow, that was a very long intro at 10 minutes. But I guess, yeah, if you want to see the first part of this video, click on video number 2, and I will see you there.